Hello, friends! If you fly even a couple of times a year, what I'm about to tell you can save you time, stress, and maybe even your flight. Starting in 2025, TSA rules have quietly changed, and many travelers still have no idea. People who have been flying for decades are suddenly getting pulled aside for extra checks, asked to remove items, or even denied boarding because of small mistakes that never mattered before. Let's go step by step. Imagine you're standing in that long security line. You finally reach the scanner and the officer says, "Please remove your jacket, your vest, your scarf." You pause, surprised. You've worn the same thing on every trip for years. So what's different now? The short answer, technology. TSA has rolled out new next-generation body scanners that can see through clothing in more detail than ever before. They're faster, safer, but also far less forgiving. What used to be a simple hoodie or layered outfit can now look suspicious to the scanner. That's why people are being stopped, not because they did anything wrong, but because their clothes confuse the system. Here's what you need to know. 1. Keep it simple. The more layers you wear, the longer your screening will take. Thick jackets, vests, or multi-layered outfits make it hard for the scanner to detect what's underneath. The machine flags dense areas, and then officers have to do a pat-down. That's 5 to 10 minutes gone right there. Instead, wear light clothing, cotton, linen, or a thin sweater. If you get cold easily, carry a small travel blanket or put a light jacket in your carry-on. 2. Watch for metal. Buttons, zippers, jewelry, belt buckles, even small bits of metal show up bright on the new scanners. They don't care if it's jewelry or medical implants, they just react. I once saw a gentleman stopped for 15 minutes because of metal snaps on his sleeves. If a magnet sticks to your outfit, TSA might too. Choose pullovers and elastic waistbands, comfortable, easy, fast. 3. Shoes matter more than ever. Since July 2025, some airports no longer require you to remove your shoes, but only if the scanners can identify your footwear as safe. Big heels, boots, or anything with metal eyelets still need to come off. Slip-on sneakers or loafers are your best friends at TSA. They're comfortable, quick, and you won't hold up the line behind you. 4. Avoid shiny fabrics. Sequins, glittery jackets, or anything metallic looking can bounce light from the scanner and cause false alarms. TSA has even issued an internal memo asking travelers to avoid reflective materials when possible. So if you were planning to sparkle through the airport, maybe save that for the cruise, not the checkpoint. 5. Real ID is no longer optional. Here's the one change that's catching thousands of travelers by surprise. Starting May 7th, 2025, regular driver's licenses are no longer accepted for domestic flights within the U.S. You now need a real ID, a passport, or another approved document, such as a global entry card or military ID. If your driver's license doesn't have a small gold star in the corner, it's not real ID, and that means you won't be allowed through the checkpoint, no matter how many miles you've flown. I've already met people at airports this year who had to cancel trips because they didn't realize this. Imagine arriving early, checking your bags, standing in line, only to be told, "I'm sorry, this ID doesn't work anymore." Avoid that heartbreak. Check your license now. Here's a quick refresher before you fly. Dress light. 1 layer is better than 3. Choose slip-on shoes. Avoid anything shiny or metallic. Carry minimal jewelry. Keep your real ID or passport handy at the front of your bag. These small changes can save you 20 to 30 minutes at security. More importantly, they'll help you travel calm and confident without that sudden jolt of panic when the TSA agent waves you aside. Flying should be enjoyable, not stressful. The new systems are meant to make things safer, not harder, but they do take some getting used to. So the next time you're packing, take a minute to check your clothes, your shoes, and your documents. You'll thank yourself when you walk straight through that scanner and head calmly to your gate. Safe travels, friends. And remember, preparation is the best travel hack there is. All right, you're dressed smart and ready for the airport. But before you even leave home, let's talk about something that causes more headaches than any security line: what you pack.
Over the past year, TSA and the airlines have quietly updated their baggage policies. Most people haven't noticed yet until their bags get flagged or they lose something at check-in. Let's go through the big changes and a few easy tricks to stay out of trouble. First, the big one, power banks and batteries. Since July 2025, you cannot put any portable chargers or loose lithium batteries in your checked luggage. Not a single one. They must go in your carry-on bag only. This rule came after several in-flight incidents involving overheated batteries. Now, if TSA spots one in a checked suitcase, they'll pull the bag, and sometimes the whole flight gets delayed. Even if you didn't mean to break the rule, you'll be the one called over the loudspeaker. So here's the fix. Keep every charger, phone, tablet, or spare battery with you, not in the suitcase under the plane. And one more thing. Your power bank must be charged. Yes, charged. TSA officers can now ask you to turn it on to prove it's safe. If it's dead, they can confiscate it on the spot. So plug it in the night before and make sure it powers up. Next up, liquids. Yes, the 311 rule still stands. Bottles no larger than 3.4 ounces, 100 milliliters, all inside one clear plastic bag. But there's some good news. TSA has added exceptions for certain items. Medical liquids, baby formula, breast milk, and some health-related gels are allowed in larger amounts, as long as you tell the officer before the screening. Just say, "I have medically necessary liquids." They'll run a quick separate test, and that's it. Now, let's talk about medications. This is where travelers make the most mistakes and where I see the most stress. Here's what you need to remember. Keep all prescriptions in their original bottles or packaging. TSA wants to see the printed label with your name. If you're using a pill organizer, that's fine, but bring a small photo or copy of your prescription too. Bring only what you need. The general guideline is up to a 90-day supply for most medicines. Bringing more can raise questions from customs officers, especially when flying internationally. Check with your airline or your destination's embassy before packing. It's better than losing medicine at customs. Here's a smart travel tip. Keep all your health-related items, medicines, glasses, chargers, documents, in one small pouch inside your carry-on. If you need to grab it quickly during screening or boarding, it's right there. No digging around, no panic. Another change many travelers miss: electronic devices must be charged too. Phones, tablets, laptops. If a device won't turn on, TSA may pull it for additional inspection. That's not a myth, it's real. So make sure everything has at least a bit of power before you arrive. And finally, download the official TSA app. It's free and gives you live updates on wait times, prohibited items, and even changes to your airport's rules. It's especially useful if you're connecting through a different city. Here's your quick recap before you zip that bag. Power banks, charged and only in your carry-on. Liquids, 3.4 ounces or less unless it's medical. Medications, labeled and kept with you. Devices, charged and easy to reach. Travel light. Mess stuff means fewer surprises. Following these steps can save you from delays, confiscations, or fines that can reach up to $1,000 for prohibitive items. Travel is supposed to be exciting, not stressful. A little preparation before you leave home means a smoother trip and more time to enjoy where you're going instead of standing at security wondering what went wrong. So take a moment tonight. Check your bag, charge your gadgets, and put your medicines in your carry-on. You'll thank yourself when you walk right through TSA while others are still unpacking their bags at the scanner. Safe travels. And remember, the best vacation starts before you even reach the gate.
You've packed your bag, double-checked your ID, and passed security. Now what? This is where most people let their guard down. They think, "I'm through TSA. I can finally relax." But a few smart decisions now can make your flight smoother, more comfortable, and even safer. Let's start with one of the biggest myths in air travel, that you should always arrive 2 or 3 hours early. That used to be true. Not anymore. New facial recognition check-in systems and faster CT scanners have cut wait times in half at most U.S. airports. Today, if you're flying domestically without checked bags, 1 hour is usually enough. If you're checking luggage, plan for about an hour and a half. For international flights, 2 hours is plenty, unless you're traveling on a major holiday.
Arriving too early just means you're stuck in a terminal built to make you spend money. Airports are designed for dwell time, a fancy way of saying the longer you wait, the more you'll buy. Coffee, snacks, souvenirs, it adds up. So instead of sitting for hours in a noisy food court, time your arrival smartly. A simple trick. Use the Flights Aware app. It shows real-time delays and boarding updates. If your flight is late, you can leave home later and save yourself the waiting. It's one of the easiest ways to travel with less stress. Now, let's talk about where you sit. Not all airplane seats are equal, and choosing the wrong one can ruin your trip. The seats you should avoid. Middle seats, least space, and you get neither armrest fully. Last rows. Louder, bumpier, and you'll be the last to deplane. Seats near the restroom. Constant noise, smell, and foot traffic. Bulkhead rows. Limited legroom and no space under the seat for your bag. The seats worth paying extra for. Over the wings, less turbulence and a smoother ride. Exit rows. Extra legroom, but only for passengers who can handle the door if needed. Window seats. Quieter and great for resting. Aisle seats, easier to stand up and stretch. Before you book, check SeatGuru.com. It's a free site that shows the seat layout for nearly every airplane, with color codes for best, average, and avoid. It takes 2 minutes and can save you hours of discomfort. Another thing that's changed in 2025, airline compensation rules. If your domestic flight is delayed more than 3 hours or your international flight more than 6, you're now entitled to a full cash refund, not just a travel credit. If your flight gets canceled, you also get a refund automatically. You don't even have to ask, though it never hurts to remind them politely. A few more tips that frequent flyers swear by. Bring a neck pillow, preferably memory foam. The inflatable ones deflate mid-flight. Carry a refillable water bottle and fill it after security. Airplane air is dry and dehydration makes jet lag worse. Pack your medications and essentials in a small pouch that fits under the seat. If your checked bag goes missing, you'll still have what you need. If you take medicine that needs to stay cool, just tell the flight attendant. They can keep it in a small fridge during the flight. It's common and completely allowed. For travelers who use a cane or wheelchair or simply don't move as fast as they used to, remember, you can always request airport assistance. A trained staff member will meet you at check-in, guide you through TSA, and escort you all the way to your gate. It's free. You just have to ask when booking or at the counter. Let's go over the main points one more time. Arrive smart. Not too early, not too late. Check flight status before leaving home. Pick seats carefully using Seat Guru. Know your refund rights. Stay hydrated and comfortable. Ask for help if you need it. That's what airport staff are there for. Travel doesn't have to be exhausting or confusing. The new systems and rules can actually make flying easier if you know how to work with them instead of against them. A little preparation, a calm attitude, and good timing go a long way. Remember, it's not about rushing through every step. It's about traveling confidently, knowing what to expect. So, next time you fly, take a deep breath, smile at the TSA officer, and enjoy the trip. Because the goal isn't just to reach your destination, it's to enjoy the journey along the way.